Why cheap guns don't necessarily suck. Right, that was 348. Just finished attempting to make a range video on this Mark sent me L. This was a rifle that I purchased on sale for $1,000. Now typically these run $1,300. Not cheap. And it didn't function here at the range today. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. But it inspired me to do a quick video on why cheap guns aren't necessarily bad, and enter my Anderson Manufacturing AR-15 here, the AM-15. Now this is a rifle that I've had for quite some time now. I purchased this from Brownells during an NFL Super Bowl promotion they were having. And I don't watch the Super Bowl. I found out on Instagram or something along those lines. But they sold these complete rifles for $300 shipped. So at that price, I figured, what the hell, I'll give it a try. And I purchased it. It originally came with one of those 1913 gas blocks, which you can't really do much with those because they're too low to put irons on top of, and kind of useless. So the only thing I changed on this was I swapped out that gas block with this gas block here, and it's been so long that I can't remember the brand. It's maybe Rock River Arms or Yankee Hill Machine, but basically it's just a flip up front sight gas block. So it kind of solved that issue for me. And this particular one is a the clamp-on version. So now everything else, like I said, is bone stock. I'm just running a simple dress sling on this rifle. So altogether, I think I probably have maybe 400 invested in this setup here. It's got a ModTech sight on the rear, which now with cloners, these are a little bit more expensive, but these used to be very inexpensive, these ModTech rears, and it's not my favorite sight, but it works on this. And notice I'm not running a red dot. So I could have gotten this from Brownells, thrown a $100 primary arms optic on there, and it would have been great. But I wanted this to be super low profile, and I didn't want it to have any electronics, because this to me is a rifle that I can leave or store somewhere. This would be a good truck gun, car gun, trunk gun. Maybe throw it in a safe somewhere. If you got a cabin up north, this is something you can leave there. Because this isn't necessarily a rifle that I will miss. This isn't something like I'm like, ooh, I really want to shoot that Anderson Manufacturing AM-15. Nothing wrong with it, but it's just a basic gun. And if you've been watching my channel, I've got a lot of cooler guns, let's be honest. But the point is, I had this for a long time. When I got it, I ran a class with it. Right around the time I got it and got it set up, I was taking a carbine course, and I'm like, you know what the hell, I'll run it, irons and all. And it functioned flawlessly for me, which I think is a very important note to make when talking about these inexpensive rifles. And it doesn't matter who you're purchasing it from. Palmetto State Armory has some great deals that they're always rolling out on their rifles. And you know, cheap rifles are not always bad, but you have to understand that they have to cut some corners to make them inexpensive. And one of the corners that they are typically going to be cutting is QC, or quality control. So when you get that rifle, perform your own QC. Make sure everything looks right. Make sure it functions. Run some rounds through it. All that money you saved, use that money to buy ammo. Get some rounds through it. Make sure it's going to function. That's the most important thing. If it functions, great. A lot of shooters out there only have the opportunity to go out and shoot once or twice a year. And if that's all you're doing, then, you know, you might not need a super expensive rifle for home defense or whatever it is you want that for, sporting purposes, whatever the case may be. I ran it. It ran flawlessly. ever since then, it kind of sits where I keep it stored in case I need it. And if I ever do, flip up my front and rear sight and I'm ready to go. Okay, so quick range video on this cheap Anderson manufacturing, who recently went out of business, might I add. So yeah, let's check it out and see how it goes. Now, it's been many years since I zeroed this, and I honestly can't remember what distance I zeroed it at. Could be 25, could be 50. I have the rear sight set to 200, which leads me to believe I have it zeroed at 50 yards. So I'm just gonna fire some rounds. I think this is about 45 yards, so it should be pretty close. So we're gonna see if it's still on after sitting around for many years. And I'd also like to add that the ammunition I zeroed it with is not the ammunition I have today. I'm actually using some of the leftover rounds that was supposed to be going through my Markel Set Miel. Since that's not working, the Anderson manufacturing is getting some love. Let's see how this goes. All right, so that's 5 rounds. We'll take a look. All right, so here's my group here. Again, I was just kind of like shooting on a rest, ass up. So I'd imagine one of these are a flyer, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, this right here is 1.5 inches. Right here, you're looking at about 2.5. If you look at the whole group, you're looking at about 4 or 5 inches, which I don't think is honestly, I don't think is an accurate representation of the accuracy. This is probably way more, I know this is way more accurate than I am, but it is definitely accurate enough. And then you can see here, just about a smidge low, but overall, still holding zero, still going to be able to get accurate hits on target. All right, so we're here at 7 yards, gonna do some build drills just to see how quick we can shoot this cheap AR. Again, I got about 400 invested into this setup right now. So not a lot. And like I said before, it looked like it was a little over gas. So as a general rule, you want your rifle to be ejecting brass at the 3 o'clock position back to about the 4:30 or so. Anything forward of the 3 o'clock is usually an indicator that that particular rifle is over gas. Carbine rifles are usually slightly over gas. That's not that crazy. This thing's just running a basic carbine buffer and spring. If you went up to an H2, maybe even H3, a lot of times it's going to fix that or compensate for it. And then in addition to buffers, you can also run different weight springs like a Sprinko White Hot or a Blue. That's also going to remedy that overgassing. But it's not really that big of a deal unless you start having malfunctions. So let's see. Build drill, 7 yards, 6 rounds, as fast and accurately as I can go. That was a 1-4-2. So honestly, not bad. Let's look at my hits on paper here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything's in. Can't be mad at that. All right, we're gonna go 2, 2, 2. 2 on the left, 2 in the middle, 2 on the right. 6 rounds total. Let's see. That was a 203. Now, this is a super basic setup, but you know, it's kind of like driving manual with a car. If you can shoot with a red dot, that's awesome. That's going to be the standard, but it's good to kind of go back every once in a while and practice those iron sight fundamentals, because you could always fall back on iron sights. And if you're cutting costs, oftentimes iron sights is the cheapest that you can go when it comes to optics. And by cheapest, you can get cheaper stuff off Amazon, things like that. But as far as good, reliable optics, maybe not so much. But iron sights, you can get good, reliable iron sights pretty cheap. And a lot of rifles, whether it be ARs, AKs, or whatnot, often come with them, or at least the front ones if you got a front sight post going on there. All right, 2 per, starting on the middle target. 229. All right, got a reload coming up, so I'm gonna work that into this drill here. Got I think it's like 3 rounds total. We'll see. But I'm gonna get 4 rounds, middle target, 1 round in each of the targets to the left and right of that. I like doing this drill and switching it up, either doing 4 rounds first, then 1 and 2, or 1 and 2, then 4 rounds first. We'll start with 4 rounds first. 3, reload. Boom. So I like that drill because it allows you to kind of get that finger going. Work them follow-up shots, stance grip, all that stuff, driving that rifle. Then a little bit of target transition after. So let me show you that same thing, but now in reverse. I'll start on the outside, work my way in. So I'm engaging 3 targets total with a total of 6 rounds, just kind of spreading that love around. Ooh, a little hesitate on those last 4, which is why I like this drill. That's something that I can work on there. So cool. Well, that last time was a 217. And if you really want to get your finger going and you have the ammo allocation to do it, which maybe you do have because you only spent 400 bucks on a rifle, it's the 1 through 15 drill. So starting on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 through 15. Hopefully my camera doesn't overheat in the process. All right, that was a 3, 4, 8 on the 1 through 15 drill. You can see you really get cooking by the end of that string of fire there, and it really kind of allows you to settle in to a rhythm, and you know, it's a good bonding experience with that fire. And like I mentioned before, I'm just running a basic dress sling, and these work great. You know, you can run your arm through that for front carry. If I have to engage from here, I could. That's about the amount of slack you want to have. But usually I'm going to be running this in a working sling where it's just kind of around my neck, and that allows me to really run this and work around the gun how I need to, whether I'm shooting support side, normal, you know, clear malfunctions, which I haven't had to do on this, or reloads. So do a quick reload drill just to show you I can really swim around this sling here, even though it's just a basic 2-point. All right, so got a little bit hung up on that mag exchange there, but overall, definitely get it done. All right, I got 3 more rounds left. Let's do 1 more reload drill. This time I'm gonna go hit that left target, reload, right target. Ooh, that did not want to drop free for me. But yeah, we got it going there. So that was just a quick video for you on why cheap guns don't necessarily suck. All right, 400 bucks, you can do what you got to do. I could have did the same thing by getting this and just running a red dot on there. Still at 400 bucks. You know, it just depends on what type of sights you want to run or what optics you want to run. But it's nice to kind of pop these both down. This is going to be a little hot. It's nice to pop those both down, and I'm typically storing this with a 20-round magazine just to make it a little bit even more so compact. And yeah, works for me for certain things. You know, weapons are tools, firearms are tools, and you know, use your tools as you see fit. So AM-15 rifle, this bad boy, can't even buy it anymore because I'm pretty sure they're out of business. But PSA, a lot of other companies out there putting out some rifles that most people can afford, and you don't have to go bougie for self-defense, personal defense, whatever you want to call it. And this works great. So $400 versus $1,000, which is really has a $1,400 MSRP. This does not work. This does work. So take that for what you will. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about that, and thanks for watching.